G'day, mate. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, however, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Please stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hey, my name is Wayne McDonell. I am the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Yeah, sorry, Henley. It'll have to be me. It's bad coffee today. Anyways, my name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. Thank you very much for being a client. I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, Monday through Friday, here at Forex.Today. Once a month, first Friday of the month. In fact, I'm at Epic Street, where I'm also the past Forex Speaker of the Year. Best blog, best educational webinar, best few things. Cool. So I want to make you a success. That's it. So let's get into some trading now. I want to make you a success. I want to teach you how to do this on your own. So how's your rabbit traps going? Couple of rabbits on the, yep. Cool. It's like some pounds, some kiwi. Very nice. Okay. I think yesterday when we drew this red, orange line up or red line, whatever it is, up and then down, I don't think we had the up yet. Is that correct? All we had was down here, but no real lower low. Because I remember drawing this white zone. Okay, yeah, all right, cool. But here's what tends to happen this type of year. You stay in the range. And this is why you ought to, get the rabbits and not even go on long hunting trips for big game. I don't know if we talked about, what, 25 pips up, 50 pips down? I think we did, didn't we, when I drew that? In this case, you would have been fine 25 pips up, 25 pips down. But, again, one of the messages I tried or attempted to get across yesterday is it's the mindset. If you're not setting up rabbit traps, then you just don't eat, right? So in this case, you're like, yeah, it's going to, go to the top of the range, take some money off the table, come down, maybe it'll do the same. You had that opportunity twice, right? Here and here. And it never broke out. Third week of August, Joe. Yes, you have to realize the market's in control and you need to adapt, not the other way around. Okay. So here we are, stuck doing basically nothing. I mean, that's a really lame Monday, right? Unless you expected it. I mean, look at that. Just lame. Now, one of the things to kind of be cognizant about is that, actually it's this down here. Bulls are actually buying this area here, right? And bears are kind of trying to sell this area. And there's no clear indication who's winning. In fact, it doesn't seem like anybody's winning, right? But based on the previous top, going back to our 4-hour chart, I think it was, or let's do 1-hour chart. Based on this, I'm a little more bearish than bullish, right? Plus, we know farther up I'm extremely bearish. Moderately bearish, extremely bearish. Okay. You could really get in that situation where you overtrade, can't you? We mentioned about, losing big money on days where nothing happens. That could be one of those scenarios. So just be very careful. Be aware that you can get sucked into things. And if you're aware of it, you avoid it, right? At least that's the theory. $45.82. It's a good area to sell. Based on pivot cluster, that's market resistance. Price resistance, we're looking at this, pretty obvious. So basically 45 or 46 are sellable. And I already marked yesterday that this 42.50 area might be an interesting buy, depending on how it behaves. Trying to drink more water. It's what you pick up when you're a student. Everybody's got their pacifiers. At these times, maybe better to trade metals and indices. Better. Look, if you're standing in an empty room looking for volume and volatility, it doesn't matter. Oh, is that what it is, Joe? I'm behind. Now they don't. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the bigger news is tomorrow in regards to oil. Okay. So, anyways, we'll see what it does. It's much easier if you should even write it down that you are a bull or a bear. Okay. Because if you're a bull, you're looking to set this up. Okay. Bounce, bounce, bounce up. I would say maybe here and maybe here if I'm a bull. Because it's either a 618 with the monthly M2 or it's a double bottom. That's it, right? Isn't that like the only two options for the week? Yeah. Yeah, Joe, is that why I have man boobs? I'm drinking out of the wrong water bottles? Yeah. Okay. So those are the only real, weekly buy zones, right? What about sell zones? I don't even remember why I drew this 47 line, but I drew it weeks ago. Maybe even a couple of months ago. Boy, that's beautiful, isn't it? But I knew I drew this before I went to summer school. So that's at least a month ago. But anyways, As a resistance trader, what would you be looking for? Well, you got to play the range now, but the range kind of shows consolidation, doesn't it? Because remember, if it's not falling, it might start rising. And that's what these two buy zones are opportunities to consider buying. So if you're consider selling a quadruple top, it's not really what you're super excited about, right? But nonetheless, you have this area to sell. Where else would you sell? Maybe here, maybe here. I would say this area that I already have highlighted. But less thrilling, huh? So we'll see. Now, if you're scalping, of course, on these smaller time frames, would you consider this pivot point here plausibly something that might act as support, this 4400? Yeah, lots of people answering. I like to see that. Yeah, all right. Then you can drop into a smaller time frame, right? You could say to yourself, do you think this 5A cross will cross up? If the answer is yes, you can cut corners even further. Okay. Okay. Le flait tout le monde. By the way, what time are you supposed to trade oil? Which is mm, which is what? Oh, I don't know. I can't twist it that way. About an hour ago. Let me check. About an hour ago. It actually opens at 7:20, but you should be prepped before. Okay. Waiting for this moment for all of my life, running after you, like chasing the clouds. Hey, somebody's selling the weekly, huh? Here's another great example. This USD CAD up to the sell zone and it fell, down to the buy zone and it rose. And really, since Sunday to now, really nothing happened, huh? Joe, people in Los Angeles don't work. So anyways, these are the buy zones, right? And this is a sell area, and nothing's happened. Oh yeah, I guess it's work. They wake up in the morning and fool themselves. It takes a lot of energy. Okay, so you kind of have to trade it like a range. Whoa. So do your job, mark up your charts. Very horizontal. Anyways, looks bearish. It's amazing how much it went up and then flipped around, huh? Well, one thing, Ryan, is you have to put in personality as well with the Bank of Canada. So, like, for example, why is a Canadian running the Bank of England? Which I still think is phenomenal. And it was because the Canadian economy really wasn't even in the global financial crisis. Certainly, by if you, I mean, let's say you consider it was, but it would be at an arm's length compared to everybody else that was in there. The reason for that is Canada is very, very conservative. Um, you know, as a culture, as a people, but certainly as an economy. And back in the days, you had Carney running Canada along with his finance minister, who has now since passed away. But these two worked very closely with each other. And Canada really, as a country, really wasn't over leveraged like American banks and like English banks and all that kind of stuff, right? It just wasn't as exposed. So why? And it's just that they're much more conservative, right? And I don't mean politically conservative, I just mean frugal, if you will, right? And so Bank of Canada could run their monetary policy a bit different than other central banks. So you could say, oh, well, no way because of this, this, and this. And generally, you're probably right, but you might get surprised on Canada. Okay. Now, Canada is an interesting thing. Yeah, exactly. That's the better attitude, right? I'm looking forward to seeing what they say. That's what you need to say every time. And then to follow that up, you'd say, well, based on past policy and actions from this particular central bank, I would think blah, blah, blah. Not just if I was running the central bank, right? Because that's kind of how I've read your comments just in the last couple of days. It seems like you're taking your intellect and you're kind of like, well, if I was running this bank, I would do this. And if I was running that bank, I'd do that. You know, I'm picking on you. It's a subtle difference, but you got to be careful because it's not, you aren't running the bank, right? You're making money. You're right. That's what you're supposed to do. You're the one that's supposed to make money off of what you anticipate they're going to do, right? So it's a subtle difference, but just look at it like I can't wait to see what they say, and based on the past, this is what I've seen happen, and therefore I'm going to make a lot of money. And it doesn't have to be right or wrong in your opinion. It's just more like you're predicting what they're going to do based on who they are. So I'd rather you get into the politics of it, not sort of like a personality of it, so to speak. So yeah. If you think about Canada, they export natural resources, right? We all know that: gold, oil, timber, beef, wheat, barley, silver, nickel, diamonds. But they also, right? They also import and export a huge amount from the United States, and this creates jobs as well. So a resource-rich country only, you think of like Venezuela, right? No one there has to work because everything's from the oil. Canada is a little interesting because it does export huge amounts. I mean, just huge amounts of everything. And yet there's also a real economy as well. And sometimes these policies kind of give and take. And maybe it's a tug of war a little more than other economies. So on one hand, right, on one hand you might want a weak currency, on another hand you might want a strong currencies. So just put it all together, put it in play. I mean, you could think of it like, how could you compare and contrast the Canadian economy and its central banking policy over the last 25 years to that of Australia? How are they similar? How are they different? You can see I'm still in school mode, right? I'm still writing papers. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's a lot of similarities, but there are differences. And I did write, I think I wrote that paper for Harvard about a year ago. So, all right. So we want some gold. All right, good. Well, I think my opinion is the same as yesterday. Look. Yeah, I think we were right on this 618 yesterday when I did the webinar, right? This is a 5-minute chart. We were right here yesterday. So, right? And once again, you get the move and then nothing happened. When did the moves occur? Kind of looks like London Open, New York Open, huh? So how are you going to put this in your analysis? Okay. See, this spike here is the US gold market's opening. The spike here is the New York stock exchange, if you will, opening. And this is probably London. But that's valuable information, right? How are you going to adjust to either increase your opportunities or reduce your risk during these summer months? And I should remind you that amateurs look at the charts and they think about all the money they could have made. Oh, I could have made that 200 pips. I just missed it. I just wasn't trading. If I had only been there, I would have made the money. And then inevitably what really happens? Right? You end up like buying, and you're like, dude, I lost money. It's amazing when you look at all the moves in past tense, it's the money that you made or should have made or could have made. And then when we trade, it's loss, loss, loss. And I don't know how we reconcile it, right? But I look at some of these moves and I see losses. I don't, right? Like I see like my thought process here was for it to extend, right? R high, R low. Isn't it just a simple 1, 2, 3? But it failed to happen. Everything else worked. But why did it fail? Right, John. That's really where I'm getting to, John. Yeah. Why did it fail? Okay. Because somebody started eating rabbit stew. Right? Lunchtime, dinner time. But they did what they were supposed to do at that exact time. We were right here yesterday when we talked about it. And in this, if it was any other time of the year, you would have expected at least this, right? At least. And this is why my message is the same as before. You need to adjust your expectations. You can get really frustrated this time of year, especially if you're not expecting it. But I've been preparing you for weeks. This is why you're supposed to have taken summer school the last month, right? So now what? Well, now we're back to here. What do you want to do? And the longer this occurs, the less you want to trade, or at least to me, right? Like this looks fine on the left, like yesterday looks fine. The fact that we've kind of drifted back down, I'm much less excited. But at least I know one thing is I can't sell it here. So maybe if I buy it, maybe I do half lot, right? I only put like 300 million instead of 600 million. You know, be really conservative. Maybe a $500 million, right? Right, Peter? Just like tone it down a little bit. Yeah, you don't want to go anymore. But it's a real question, right? What are you going to do here? What do you think is the right thing based on your analysis of the market? Right? You're the expert, right? And if you're trading other people's money, you need to make decisions on their behalf. Right? Don't just sit and trade it the same way day after day, same lot size, same currency pair, same blah, 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 blah. Really ask yourself, I'm the expert today, so what do I think? It's so easy to turn this into a video game, isn't it? Do 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 do. Oh wait, that was just those bullets were money. Yeah. So anyways, maybe one more trip north. What do you think? Are people playing these pivot points? Monthly M3, weekly M2. Are people playing it? Yeah. Paulie says, hey, do you keep an eye on Aussie considering gold? Yeah, absolutely. Sure. Totally. The correlation isn't nearly as high as it used to be back in the day. But let's say I was South African trading Rand. OMG. Yeah. Yeah. Rand and gold, man. Big time. Yep. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Got a pocket full of pips, and my homeboys do too. Okay. I think if you're paying attention, it's not too hard. You know what it smells like to me though is this. You know what? I'm gonna bring it higher up just because it's more exciting. Low, 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 low. Yeah. What do you think of that? And since I don't have you. Huh? Boom. Third week, Paulie. Come on. Come on, Paulie. Hey, you can lose a lot of money in a week. How does it feel on the whole? You don't see it now, but don't be shocked if we're here this September Fed meeting. I'm not saying it'll do it, but don't be shocked. Don't say like, oh my God, just couldn't fathom that. Oh yeah. And Just looking at this. I remember trying to catch this multiple times. Since I don't have you. So anyways, wait for them to fall. Then you got to decide whether you want to help them out, make them fall. It seems reasonable, doesn't it? I think yesterday we concluded we just can't buy it. It's nice to know, even though the sucker's been up every day for a month, you get here and you're like, whoa, can't buy it here. Okay. This is a swing short too. I'm not sure if we covered that yesterday. But that is a weekly swing short. There's no doubt about it, 8. It's less good because it's an uptrend, because that makes it a counter trend. You know, if you're a buyer, I think I'd rather buy it here, because not only do you get the upside move, which is at minimum here, but if you're a buyer, you get the luck of the trend behind you, and this could go up hundreds of pips with a lot less, resistance than having it fall into support, because there's lots and lots of support all the way down. So you can get lucky on the upside, okay? And I don't know how you could, if you were a bull, I don't know how you would not buy this, which is, again, a double negative. Been working on these things. I mean, there's no doubt that that's a buy zone, right? There's just no doubt. So, and it's nice to see that somebody did buy. Great. I just don't know how many or how far, but there's something going on there, right? Right. So, like, on a micro level, this is a horrible place to buy, but what are you going to do, huh? Are you going to set a trap for it like that? Right. This is a danger zone. Fly into the danger zone. So I can't buy. It's against the law, and it's probably unethical. So sell, not sell? What do you want to do, Maverick? Talk to me, Goose. It's amazing how you look at it on this time frame, you're like, oh yeah. And then you look at it on this time frame, you're like, what? Nothing's happening. Are you waiting for a lower low, maybe? London close, New York close, Asia open. It would be even better if it rose first and then came down, right? Wouldn't this be the ultimate? Like it went up here and then just crashed hard. Well, are you looking for a bounce or the lower low? See, to me, something down here, let me draw it. Something down here stands out, right? You guys ever watch Sesame Street? Three of these things belong together. Three of these things are one and the same. One of these things don't belong here. Now it's time to play our game. It's time to play our game. All right. These are, right? This is an uptrend. This is an uptrend. This is an uptrend. However, this one's different. Oh, erased it. Yeah. It was an uptrend, then it made a lower low, and it makes all the difference in the world. Okay? So you could say, all right, this has been up for a while. We're up near resistance, so I'm waiting for it to fall. I mean, look at all the lower lows. Oh, wait, there are none, right? So yeah, so if you got one off of this, and we know this yellow zone is toppish too. I can't even get it on this time frame. Okay? I mean, follow this line where price is now, like, oy vey, come on, man, right? So if you're sitting here now on a 5-minute chart, and now you see a lower low, I don't know, right? Might be relevant, right? Right? Huh? Might be relevant. So you got to focus in on that. Could be the glue train. Beep, beep. So do you have to be on the first wave? No, of course not. So maybe now you just sit and wait. You get it? It's called a trade plan. So much better. Dollar week at the moment. What do you think? It's non-farm payrolls. Friday. Let me think. The first Friday of the month. Right? Is it really NFP here? Or is it payday? Is it send money back home day? I don't want to run day. Yeah. Gotta send money home before Monday. Piggy, 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 can't you see? All right. All right. That is a buy zone. That's it. Could all these little fake outs fake you out? Totally. Okay. Swing traders know how to trade this. I think by now you'd move your stop just below here. Just keep praying. If you're a bear, you're going to sell here. So you're waking up right here, right now. If you're a bull, your buy zone was down here. I know it's not the greatest entry. Well, whatever. Nope, right? And now if you're a bear, you're setting this up here. Well, if you traded this and you put your stop at a reasonable place, Nuno, right? You'd still be in it, right? Like, I'd say the most common place is if you went long M2 right here on the open, your stop is below the S1. Should be fine. How many pips are your swing trades worth? Your weekly? Yeah, it really depends on the week, right? Dan says 150, yeah, 100 to 200. Now, the interesting thing is the average daily range on a lot of these pairs is about that much, right? So you're only capturing, but you know we're only trading it one way usually. Now, if you catch a trend, right, and we're supposed to catch the trend, if you can catch the trend, it's plausible you can be in some of these trades for 2 or 3 weeks, isn't it? And we call that a month-long swing. So what I'm getting at is, you know, your your stop losses on entry should be 75 to 100 pips. Okay? And now, which easily gets you this. Made it too big. All right, let's do it again. I'll do it this way. I can't grab this line out. So let's say originally this is your stop. I don't think that's 75 pips away, but I'm not looking that close. And now I'd move my stop like this. And that's that. Okay. But like if you went long at M2, which is a typical swing, okay, and your stop is below the S1, that's not a big deal. Okay. Canadian housing starts. Chi, 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 le, le, le. Look at this rollover, huh? Let's look a little closer at the yin-yens. Euro-yen. No entry. Not on swing anyways. Beast. Potential entry here and here. Anyone that took the swing course knows that that's a long, pretty standard, pretty straightforward. Does anybody else need a coupon code before I take that summer school stuff down? I'll probably do it today. I believe it's expired, but I'll take it down as a package kind of thing. Okay? Last chance. Enough? Yeah. All right, everybody good then? No one needs a coupon code. I'm going to delete it then. Or something like that. All right. I think what I'll do is I'll send out one more email. It'll be at a higher price though, since you guys are good, you don't care, you got it, everyone that needs it got it. So I'll send out one more email at a higher price and we'll be done. All right, so let's take a look at Kitty Cat. Yummy. If you're a bear, that's yummy, but it's dangerous, right? Because you're selling into an uptrend. A bull is kind of buying into here, right? Okay. You can see in strong uptrends, you're never really getting good entries, right? That's sort of like the trend occurs. That's why you want to stay in trends. So typically, like in this scenario, I've taught you to look for counter trends. No counter trend this week. But that's unusual. I think if you go back and look at, let's say, 100 weeks of pivot point action, you'd find that this is actually quite rare. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why did something so rare occur? And it's just such a big, strong move, right? Look at the moving averages working for you, really acting as support. So that's kind of what you want to observe and remind yourself. So 5 years from now, when you're observing something similar, maybe you recall this. Okay. See, to me, I look at like this 2155, almost like a cloud if you use your Ikimuku no Kohoko. Or in the past, I've used like ribbons, so you get less caught up on mechanical 2155 crosses and stuff. You just look at how thin the ribbon is. Whatever. So a risky trade now is selling it off of this. Okay? And then the less risky one is selling the lower high off of that. And then the less riskier than that is selling the lower low off of that, if you're a bear. But let me ask you something basic. If you're conservative, is this a good place to buy? Right? Like, that's what you've been waiting for. Like, that's what I need. Right? So then, if you can't do that, then you either do nothing or you sort of do the opposite. If you can't buy it there, maybe there's an opportunity. I'm not saying there is, but you can certainly watch for one to sell. Right? Somebody sold at weekly R1. What? Okay. What are you going to do if it makes a lower low, lower high? Is this going to be a sell zone for you if it does sort of a micro move? Or are you going to play that like a range? Because it could just come all the way back up here, right? Just be chill about it, right? What's the number one goal? Got it. Perfect, Ryan. Don't lose money. Right? Well, it's capital preservation, capital acquisition, capital appreciation. That's straight out of my book. The FX Bootcamp mantra. Yeah, so we got yelling and screaming tomorrow, don't we? Yeah, and Thursday. Thursday's a repeat of Wednesday, though. Bank of Canada, whatever. No, none of that matters. The only thing that matters is yelling and screaming. Grab a yelling is at the table. So that's, yeah, so once that's done, I think things could get pretty interesting. Right, well, it's a congressional hearing. It's testimony. It's a little, yeah, it's a little different than a press conference. So anyways, it's something, it's a catalyst. That's all we care about. It's a catalyst. So I've been teaching you over the last year or so that pound Swissy is probably the best overlooked currency pair to be trading. Look how gorgeous that entry is. That's gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay. Is that great? Look at these entries, man. Now the interesting thing is, like, even on the bearish side, look at these entries. They're precise entries. Even here on the ones that didn't work, right? These are buy zones and sell zones that are right out of the swing trading course. Gorgeous. And they're just fantastically accurate, right? Not every time, but most of the time. And do you remember I said before where we saw a big breakout of the pivots, and I said it's pretty rare, and if you went back 100, weeks, you probably wouldn't see it very often. Look, here's a big breakout, and it did counter trend. Here's a big breakout, and it did counter trend. So just on pound Swissy, I mean, it's just another one where you're seeing multiple weeks. It's pretty hard to find scenarios that didn't counter trend. So the fact that just recently we did have pairs not counter trend shows you, I don't know, opportunity to lose money. Or wouldn't it be great if you had stayed in it because something told you the trend was quite strong and you're willing to make a monthly swing, not just a weekly swing? You can get paid. All right, I think I'm going to go. I'm still building up my my inner coach. So hey, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Thank you for being on my team. Thank you for all the great questions. Bring more tomorrow if you want. Thank you for being a client to TradersWay. If you haven't signed up for at least a demo, please do that now. Otherwise, your mother will be very disappointed in you. And thank you for your loyalty and respect that you offer to me every single day. I really appreciate that, and I take it seriously. I'll see you tomorrow, huh? Cheers.